You know what Sony had? The Holy Trinity. Leo, Brad, and Marco. Who do you have?
Well, in the first place, I'm not a natural blonde.
Doesn't matter.
I smoke all the time.
I don't care.
Well, I have a terrible past. For 3 years now, I've been living with a saxophone player.
I forgive you.
I can never have children.
We can adopt some.
But you don't understand, Osgood. Oh, I'm a podcaster.
Well, nobody's perfect.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Boy Party, the podcast about movies where three major stars share the screen in a comedy classic. My name is Lucien, and I am joined, as always, by my bandmate who would absolutely dress up as a woman to go into hiding with me for the
Escape the mob.
Yeah, to escape the mob. And joining us on the show for the first time, and first time we've appeared on a recorded show together since 2017's DCU Wednesday morning slot.
9 a.m. bright and
Niamh
early.
Mary Martin is on the show.
Hello.
Welcome. Hello.
Thank you for having me.
What do we talk about at 9 a.m. on a Wednesday in 2017 on our show? Do you remember?
I believe a lot of Taylor Swift and
Paramore,
a lot of Carly
Twilight?
Rae Jepsen.
Carly Rae Jepsen. Interesting. What would I have had to say in 2017 about Carly Rae Jepsen?
Probably a lot of listening to me say
Yeah,
quite a lot about
because I think
Carly Rae
now
Jepsen.
I appreciate Carly Rae Jepsen because I am a soon-to-be 28-year-old heterosexual man. So Carly Rae Jepsen is like,
Yeah, you've aged into it.
I've aged into being a Carly Rae Jepsen big fan. You know, I'm the key demographic for her. Run Away With Me, and what's the other one I really like?
Cut to the Feeling.
No, that's not one of my favorites. There's two that I love. Run Away With Me, and what's the other one that's really good? I'll think of it later. Anyway, I do like her. She had her 10-year anniversary show the other night.
Stream
and it was all
Emotion,
men.
10 years.
All men. Anyway, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us. We're here today to talk about Billy Wilder's Some Like It Hot and the careers of Marilyn Monroe, Jack Lemmon, and Tony Curtis, in that order. And I think I have an interesting question to start with, which is Marilyn Monroe the most famous person we've ever talked about on this podcast?
Marilyn Monroe was famously compared to Mickey Mouse
Yes.
and Elvis Presley.
Yeah.
So if you've not covered those
We haven't
two
done
people,
Mickey Mouse or Elvis Presley, and we have done who's the competition? Bugs Bunny,
Bugs Bunny,
Yeah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger,
Frank Sinatra?
Frank Sinatra,
Frank Sinatra.
Tom Cruise,
Tom Cruise.
and I would say Brad Pitt.
I would wager that if
We
you
talked
showed...
about the popes.
Oh, we talked about the popes.
Okay.
That's kind of cheating.
But they're not actors.
No,
What were you going
that's
to
the
say?
characters.
If you show a photo of Brad Pitt to every household in the world, more people would know a photo of Marilyn Monroe.
I think
still.
you're right.
Oh, yeah.
That's the thing. She's like the most
Yeah.
famous person, most famous woman ever, maybe.
She is the most famous woman ever, for sure. Apart from maybe the Virgin Mary. Maybe more so.
I think more so.
More so. Like,
Has she been surpassed by Taylor Swift at this point?
no, not at all. Sure.
No.
Marilyn Monroe is someone who gets referenced in like 6 pop songs every year.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if you're like, name a song with Marilyn Monroe in the lyrics, I'm coming up with multiple ones.
Yeah.
I feel alive. I feel like Marilyn Monroe. What's the Lana Del Rey song references Marilyn Monroe? That's another one. There's so many Marilyn Monroe song
Yeah.
lyrics.
And Sabrina Carpenter's entire career is
Is
now based
becoming
off of
Marilyn
her
Monroe.
becoming a Marilyn
Yes.
Monroe tribute in the best way.
In the best way. So we were watching this, and I went. They could do a remake now with Sabrina Carpenter.
Yeah.
And we were
Yeah.
trying to come up with who the boys would be, and our suggestions weren't great.
No, terrible.
I feel like we did settle on an okay one eventually, but I'm not sure what it was. Like, obviously, Josh O'Connor and Mike Feist, not quite. You need more comedic. Like, I said Pete Davidson and
Chalamet.
Timothy Chalamet.
It's not very inspired, but it's...
They don't sound good. Why are we comparing these people to the great film that is
No.
Some Like It Hot?
I would wager, and this is a left field choice,
Mm-hmm.
that Tom Holland could do Tony Curtis really well.
Sure. I don't think doing Tony Curtis really well is like the biggest challenge, I
Well,
suppose.
no, but
What-
in the terms of is a classically trained dancer.
You're right, yeah,
could
he
do
has the physicality.
whole theatrical thing with the
I'm so like generally uninterested in Tony Curtis that let's get the Tony Curtis out of the way straight away.
Excellent.
Do you like Tony Curtis? Do you think he's an important movie star?
I have a deep-rooted hatred for Tony Curtis.
Yes, I do too. I don't like him. I think he's got
Deep.
bad vibes.
In fact, he has a book that I actually reread because I'd read it years ago and I knew it'd be funny going into this. It's about 100 pages long.
Is it called Some Like It Hot?
It's called Some Like
I
It
saw
Hot,
this, yeah.
in which he spends the entire time talking about how Marilyn Monroe got fat on set, rejected him, and how he wanted more money than her and he wanted to have a bigger name on the poster, which I thought was interesting.
There you go.
for a
Boy party material. Exactly.
And he's a bitter man who spent his entire career trying to become
Yep.
bigger.
Unlike Robbie Williams, who's a better man. He's a bitter man.
Here we go. And
you know
eventually,
the famous story about how he said that Brokeback Mountain shouldn't win Best Picture. He said John Wayne would be turning in his grave if they gave those gay cowboys an Oscar. They should give it to my favorite movie of 2005, which was Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. And of course, now his legacy of being a stupid fucking prick has now carried on to his daughter, who is one of my least
Also-
favorite people in the world.
yeah, Janet Leigh does not deserve
No.
to have given birth to her.
I he's fine. Like he's good in some films, which I will name in a moment. But like he's an inessential figure in Hollywood, and I think if you put
Yeah.
him beside Jack Lemmon, you're like, now, come on, like
He finished his career pretty much by doing a revival tour of the Some Like It Hot musical
where he played Osgood.
Yeah.
Now I'd love to see some clips of it.
Ooh, I
did.
don't think I would.
Like he actually looked less freaky as an old man than he did as a young man. I feel like his weird tan was gone. He started to just look like kind of average, handsome Hollywood guy. He's got a weird face when he's in this. Kind of a great face for playing someone who's in drag the entire film. He doesn't even need that much makeup, I feel like, to have this kind of interesting feminine look.
Yeah.
But I love the thought of him as an old man rocking on stage for 20 minutes probably to play
To
Osgood.
play Osgood, to relive the glory days
Yeah,
that
and he doesn't show up
complained about.
until like more than halfway through. It's so funny.
And it's a bit role.
It's hilarious. He obviously was sold on the idea because he gets the final big great line that we just did. He gets to do the Nobody's Perfect, and I'm sure they have a little boat floating on the stage. If you were directing a production, now we should introduce you properly. You're from the theater world,
I am indeed.
and you are an expert in all things stage and drama, which is something that we lack.
We could claim that.
And I would love to know if you were involved now in putting on a stage version of Some Like It Hot. How are you doing the boat stuff at the end, or any of it really?
Yeah,
I
you
don't
got
know.
boats, trains, and you got multiple forms of transport going.
It's never been, in my opinion, adapted very well.
Yeah.
The last adaptation is probably the best one, and I
Mm-hmm.
could not tell you how it ended because I never got to see it because it happened in COVID.
Oh, annoying. Okay.
But I don't know.
It doesn't seem
Boats
particularly
on
suited.
stage look bad.
They do, of course they do.
Doing the water thing on stage, a train you can have a lot of fun with.
Yeah.
But boats on stage look really bad. You're not gonna be able
Yeah.
to do the backwards boat thing. I
No.
just don't think it's the kind of film
No.
that belongs on stage. In my
They do a
opinion.
stage version of Life of Pi.
They do. It's
Yeah.
kind of done similar. If anyone's seen War Horse, where it's
Okay.
like puppetry,
Okay.
like the set is moving around them,
All right,
controlled
all
by
right.
people, which is cool.
I wonder, does it do water effectively? Because as you're right, like water is really hard to do on stage. Well, you're right. Tony Curtis did basically, but like the funny thing as well, Tony Curtis ends his career just like reliving the glory days of this movie, writing his book, calling it Something Like It Hot, doing the musical. It's not like he's not in other iconic movies. You'd think from all of this that he was like a one-hit wonder. Like he's in Spartacus and Sweet Smell of Success, which are both, I think, very iconic. And I think in Sweet Smell of Success, he is pretty great. It's like his one
Yeah.
great performance. It's him and Burt Lancaster as like, I'm gonna say, ad executives, or like they're madmen type guys, and they're cynical. Maybe there's a newspaper. It's a newspaper thing, and they're in New York and they're working at a newspaper, and it's a very cynical, venomous thing about men twisting the truth. And he's really good in it because I think maybe it plays into his innate sleaziness a bit better than other stuff does.
Yeah,
In-
he's sleazy.
Yeah.
This film, he struggles with being charming.
He really does, and like the extent to which Lemmon has to like do all the heavy lifting here of the charm as like the world's most charming man is insane. And obviously Monroe, he gets one Oscar nomination in 1959 for a movie called The Defiant Ones, which is him and Sidney Poitier, who we talked about a few weeks ago on the show, but I haven't seen it. And it's like a escape prisoner thing, and the white prisoner and the black prisoner are shackled together,
Yeah.
and they have to face the world as a pair. That sounds interesting, but
It's been parodied a lot.
I imagine
I think
so.
it hasn't particularly aged well.
It may not have. And then he was nominated for 2 BAFTAs for an award called Best Foreign Actor, which is such a like mid-century way of saying it's international is how we'd put that now.
Yeah.
So, like, the a U.S. actor was considered.
A foreign actor at the
A foreign
BAFTAs.
actor at
Yeah,
the BAFTAs,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. Now it would be international. And he got the Empire Awards Lifetime Achievement Award in 2006. What? They do a Lifetime Achievement Award at the Empire Awards. Who else did they give this out to? They gave this out to Tim Burton, Helen Mirren, Ray Fiennes, I'm running Keira Knightley, Simon Pegg. Okay.
How do you jump to?
All right. I'm getting confused here. They did 4 different Lifetime Achievement Awards at different points.
Okay.
I can't tell which one he got. There's another one that they gave to the Monty Python team and Aardman Animation. Okay, whatever.
Sure.
Who knows what they were doing
It's
over there.
whoever's available gets the
whoever's there on the night. But Tony Curtis, he raises a horrible child, and he just seems like a weird guy. And I think we've said everything we need to say about him. He did have 6 wives.
He did.
Janet Leigh being the first, and hilariously, like his last wife, he marries 12 years before he dies. So like, that's his lengthiest marriage, I think. He's married to Janet Leigh until 51 to 62. Then he has a 5-year marriage, and then he has a 14-year marriage, an 8-year one, a 1-year one, and then he's his last wife till he dies. So
John Wayne approves of lots of marriages.
yes, John Wayne definitely approves of marriages. Do we establish how many wives John Wayne had?
I have no idea.
It'd be funny now if John Wayne had 1 wife and was committed his entire life. He might be.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, Tony Curtis, not quite as famously horrible as John Wayne, but tried
Probably
to
because he just wasn't as famous.
tried to emulate his spirit.
Probably doesn't deserve to be top billed alongside the 2 co-stars.
Not at all.
Considering he was famous at this point for being Janet Leigh's husband
Yes.
and kind of nothing more. Like, he'd done the Defiant Ones
It's funny.
before
Yes.
Some Like It Hot.
Sure,
but
so
he
wasn't
was famous
Oscar
for
nominee. Yeah.
being in a famous couple. It's
Yes.
like Ryan Reynolds getting
True.
movies because he's
Fair
famous
enough.
for being in a famous couple.
Yes. His name is, I think, the same size as Marilyn Monroe's on the poster. It might be a little bit bigger. It is underneath. She does get first billed. It's a fun poster.
His negotiations did have some success, obviously.
I guess so.
He wanted the bigger name and
Yeah.
top billed, and he
He didn't fucking get it.
details it in his book about
Yeah.
how he was disgusted he didn't get it, which is
Loser.
weird to do
Yeah.
30 years, 40 years later.
Poster says Marilyn Monroe and her bosom companions, Tony Curtis, Jack Lemmon. They've never used that one again. They've never pulled that one out again.
The bosom
Bosom
companion.
bosom
companion.
companion. They should do that now.
They should.
Zendaya and her bosom companions.
Nope. Absolutely not.
They should try it. But no, it's
Fun
funny.
fact about the poster,
Lighthouse.
Yes.
if I can jump in while you're both looking at it.
Yes.
That's not Marilyn Monroe.
I thought it didn't look like her.
So
what the fuck?
Her face was superimposed onto a lookalike because they deemed her too fat to take the poster.
Stop.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And she was pregnant at the time, but that was not.
I had
applicable to that
I had a
photo.
feeling when I was making the graphic for this episode, I didn't use this image because something about her looked off on it.
Yeah, it's not her.
That's what it was.
And they didn't tell her they weren't going to be using her in the photo.
That's so fucking weird. You know, another fun one, the Bodyguard poster where he's carrying Whitney Houston in the rain. That's not her.
Horrible.
That's
Wish I didn't know that.
because you can't see her face. That's the double from the scene in the movie, and they just use that still on the poster.
Wish I didn't know that.
These are going up there with fun poster facts, along with the what's it called? Love and Other Drugs poster. The director was lying on the bed with Jake and Anne, and they photoshopped him out. He was in.
That's actually kind of gross.
No,
'cause they're,
he
like,
was nice.
naked.
No, it was
nice.
last day of
Last
shooting.
day of
Let's
shooting,
take a nice photo.
he just survived cancer. They took a nice
shit.
photo together.
Okay.
Yeah, he was
on
not
top of
just
the
perving
sheets.
like, "Here,
No,
let me
he
get
was.
it."
I want to be in the bed with Anne Hathaway.
Yeah, fully clothed on top of the sheets with his thumbs up like this, and they photoshopped him out. And they were
Okay.
like, "That's a great poster."
I'll give that a pass. That's fun because it's a cool poster too.
It's a good poster. So, Some Like It Hot comes out in 1959, and it is. Well, how many Billy Wilders have we done now on the show? Two or three, maybe. We did The Apartment for sure.
We did The Apartment. Yeah.
I think
I think it was one more.
Billy Wilder quickly becoming like default top 5 directors of all time for me. Just like the bar is so high.
Becoming.
It's as I become more of a completionist, I guess yes, he's entering the top 5
Yeah.
where he might not have been previously.
I think he's so fantastic, and I love everything he does.
It's fantastic.
I love The Apartment.
Apartment's so great.
Yeah.
We were talking with Peter McGann on our Roaring Twenties episode about 1, 2, 3.
Sure.
With James Cagney as the Coke executive in East Berlin, which is like the template for like every sitcom boss character now of like a guy roaring in a stab. It's fantastic. But what's your relationship with Something Like It Hot? Where did you see this for the first time?
I have absolutely no memory of how I seen this for the first time because it is one of those films that is always on TV.
True.
It's a film for staple.
It is a film for staple.
It's a classic film staple, and I'm a massive Marilyn Monroe fan.
Good. When Shane gets bored with doing Boy Party, we're going to start a new podcast called Film 4 Classics,
Yeah.
where we just do all the Film 4 classics.
But in
Ideal.
Film 4 style, we are going to repeat the episodes every
The
like,
episodes are going to
every
come out
6
every
weeks.
day. Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, followed by Stardust.
Shooter starring Mark Wahlberg.
Shooter.
A Hunt for Red October.
Hunt for Red October.
The Good, the Bad, and the
Good,
Ugly.
Bad, and the Ugly. Something Like
Yeah.
It Hot. Oh, Film 4 Classics.
Yeah, it's a film for a classic.
It is.
I've seen it probably 100 times. I could not tell you
Crazy.
how much I've watched it. But it's also one of those things of like you come home after school when you're a kid and you put on whatever
Yeah.
old movie is on. We did that in our house anyway. But I love Marilyn Monroe. Like I have a real penchant for her. All of her films, even the ones which she's not particularly great in.
Sure.
This is, I think, maybe her best outside of The Misfits, or
Yes.
even her small role in All About Eve, I think is worth.
I'm not an
a
All About Eve
mention.
fan. It's weird. I've watched.
okay.
I know I saw it when I was about 15. I should watch it again. I really didn't like it at the time. I thought it was like so boring.
I
But
appreciate
I think
it.
that's a wrong opinion that I will get over.
I think that's like the perfect supporting role,
Sure.
which
Yes.
is like a thing that's
And that-
sorely lacking
I assume
now.
that's before all of these, right?
That's like her third movie ever.
Amazing. Okay, there you
So
go.
she is just the most interesting person in the world to me. So that's more of my relationship with Some Like It Hot, is that I learned more about her and then kept rewatching the movie, learning more about
Very
her.
good. Okay.
And it's like one of the most troubled films in history.
Yes. We
It's so bad.
We'll get to the Marilyn
Oh,
Monroe
yeah,
stuff in a
but-
sec. I want to say first that this film was weirdly every kid in my primary school. No, maybe not every. Like 2 or 3 kids in my primary school who did not watch old movies would come in and say that they loved Some Like It Hot. And it became a weird thing for me where I was like, if these guys like it, it can't actually be good. Because these were people with such shitty... These were kids who would only watch Harry Potter on loop. And they'd come in and they'd be like, I saw an old movie. It was really good. Some Like It Hot. And I think I wasn't shown it that young because it was seen as crass. And I understand that, like, from my parents' perspective. And I think that there's a trend now I'm experiencing of like, oh yeah, I wasn't never shown any Marilyn Monroe movies because they're all quite sexually themed for the time. Actually, The Misfits probably less so than the other ones.
Yeah.
But The Misfits maybe wouldn't be as exciting for a small child. It's more of a drama, like. But I like the comedies she's in. The Billy Wilder 7-Year Itch, which I thought was incredible when I watched it last week. I was not shown these films as a child, despite being shown every other Jack Lemmon comedy, because I think that Marilyn Monroe was perhaps unfairly associated in my home with a certain type of like sex comedy that wasn't going to give me positive representation of gender roles or whatever.
Probably true.
And now I'm like, oh, I missed out though. Like this is like one of the great comedy stars of that era that I completely missed out on. Especially like Some Like It Hot. I think I did see for the first time maybe like 11 or 12 years ago, and this is only my second time seeing it, which is so many less few times than I've seen every other Jack Lemmon comedy and The Apartment. It's funny.
That's crazy as well, because this is like the Jack Lemmon role. I feel like outside of The Apartment, this is the one that he referenced the most before his
For
career
sure.
ended.
I have a niche Jack Lemmon thing through my dad, who's like the world's #1 Jack Lemmon diehard fan, and there's like weird Jack Lemmon movies that I've seen 100 times instead of this. I have like a weird inverted Jack Lemmon relationship to everyone else, where I've come to Some Like It Hot last after watching The April Fools, The Out of Towners, and Bell Book and Candle like 100 times each as a child. Those are kind of my Jack Lemmon roles. It's weird.
And this is his first with Wilder, is it?
Yeah, I think so.
And then he does like 10.
He does a few, not all of which are great, but like we were talking about Mr. Roberts on the Roaring Twenties episode as well, which is this incredible cast of him, Henry Fonda, James Cagney, and William Powell. So The Apartment is a year after this. Irma LaDouce is 3 years after that. Have you seen Irma LaDouce? It's him and Shirley MacLaine back together, and she's a Parisian. What would the term at the time be? Prostitute. And he's like an American guy, or no, he's a cop. He's a what's the Parisian word for a police officer? I'm not going to embarrass myself.
Garda.
Begins with a G. It's a Garda. He's a French police officer, and he befriends this woman, and that movie's like 3 hours long, but it is good. It's good fun. And then he's in. Is he in Kiss Me Stupid? That sounds like a movie Jack Lemmon would be in. No, he's not. That's Dean Martin. He's in The Fortune Cookie with Mathau, who he makes loads of movies with. And he's in Avanti, which Avanti's a weird one. Have you seen that?
I haven't seen Avanti.
I don't like Avanti. I thought I liked it, and then I watched it about 4 years ago, and I was like, oh, Avanti, that rules. And I put it on, and I was like instantly like, oh, this isn't what I thought it was. It's like an Italian funeral, and Lemmon's there because his like uncle's died or something, but I don't think it's that amazing. And then Billy Wilder, directs him in 2 of his final films, The Front Page and Buddy Buddy, which are both him and Mathau, which are kind of like, they're one of like, Buddy Buddy's a remake of a French thing. They're both like the broadest version of the him and Walter Matthau shtick, which is like, he's gonna fall out a window, he's pushing him off a bridge, and like, it's not the most sophisticated version of their thing maybe, but those movies are fun.
But he's like incredible at physical humor,
He's
like the kind of
unbelievable
stuff
in
that
this.
you almost see on like SNL, but done to like the best degree you'll ever see it done.
It's insane that someone who's so good at physical comedy and stuff is also one of like the greatest dramatic actors who can like pull out like heart-wrenching stuff. He's the best. He is my favorite. What are the moments in this film that really stand out for you for his character, and I guess Tony Curtis as well, if we must?
I hate Tony Curtis. I don't want to compliment him. I don't actually think he's that good in this movie either. And
He's fine though. He doesn't ruin it.
He's voiced over for half the film.
Really?
Yeah, it's not him
Weird.
talking.
Why?
Other than the Cary Grant impression.
Oh yeah,
which was just
is
a
good.
really weird choice when he does the like Boston
Captain Hat.
Yeah.
English Shell Oil Jr.
Shell Oil Jr.
But, like,
So when is he voiced over by himself, dubbed, or someone else is doing
someone
the voice?
else dubbed
That's
over
so
him in the
weird.
edit.
And is this his like voice as a woman, or is there a distinction there when it's
I think the Josephine stuff and the
Josephine stuff.
latter half of the film
Bizarre.
he's voiced over.
okay?
But the Josephine stuff, they didn't tell him, and he watched it and was like, "That's not me."
Okay.
Bizarre.
But Jack Lemmon, it's the first scene with him and Sugar when they're in the train,
Yes.
and she climbs in with him, and
Oh,
all
it's
of those jokes
amazing.
are like, "We're gonna have a surprise party," and he's pulling off sleazy
Yes.
humor, but with that little giggle that
Yeah,
cracks
yeah,
it
yeah,
up,
yeah.
it's actually just him laughing at himself.
It's phenomenal.
And then the maracas at the
Yes.
very end when he's had the night with Osgood.
Yes.
Which I think was like a him thing. Like he decided to pick up the maracas for that scene. It wasn't given to him, of course. And he's just like da 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 in
Yeah.
between everything he says.
Uh,
And you can tell he's becoming comfortable in himself.
Yes,
we'll
I
put
think
it that
so.
way.
No,
it's
he
not homophobic.
It's not homophobic. I think he should have done more movies where he's in drag. I think he's great at it. Like,
Yeah. I
he's
mean,
a
the
very
heels.
talented drag performer. Like,
From the first scene on
Yeah.
the train where his ankles are like bending in a
Yeah.
way that, as someone who broke their foot recently, gives me like extreme stress.
Yes.
To the very end scene where he's running through the hotel
Yes.
at full speed,
On
still
heels,
in
yeah.
heels.
Yes.
Love that he
It's
was able to
great.
do both
Mm-hmm.
and make it convincing.
It's brilliant. It's
so those.
It's unfortunate that knowing that Tony Curtis was homophobic as an old man does kind of make his performance feel, I guess, a little bit less
Yeah.
in hindsight, which it doesn't necessarily mean that it was at the time intended on being homophobic. But like,
Yeah. I don't think anything in the film is written to make fun of
no.
drag queens or trans people
Not at all,
or
I don't
gay
think.
people.
No.
And I actually think it's weirdly good.
Yeah. It
I
is, it's
think
weirdly
I
good.
think it's because the entire time it's completely understood that the disguises are 100% perfect and foolproof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's never
It's
an
operating on
acknowledgement
a
that-
fantasy
Yeah.
level of, oh, they all buy it. Yeah.
Yeah, like absolutely not a single character is ever skeptical that them in wigs
Yeah.
Yeah.
and hats is like a little bit suspicious.
Yeah.
Versus all of the other men dressing as women for nefarious
Yes.
purposes
So-
films are
yeah.
weird.
So let's discuss a few of the other ones. I recently did a podcast about the film Mrs. Doubtfire, which I think is dreadful. Mrs. Doubtfire sucks, and one of the reasons it sucks is because all throughout the film, people are like, "You look funny. You have a weird voice," and it's like people say horrible transphobic things to Mrs. Doubtfire to make the audience laugh, just to find out that it was a man in disguise. So it just creates a nasty little cooker
Yeah.
for those jokes to be made.
And his son like disowns him for dressing up as a woman.
Oh, it's awful.
Which is a really weird
Yeah.
scene to have a child act
Yes.
out.
Oh, horrible
I
film.
rewatched it on Teacher Kahar at Christmas with my
Jesus Christ.
family.
Mrs.
And we
Doubtfire
were
and ours.
actually all like, not what we remember it being.
on Two Saw Doubtfire.
Like only Sally Field
Yes.
is like pulling the film together.
Yeah.
And is the
Barely.
only one who's not
And Pierce Brosnan.
oh yeah. But her lines aren't written to be weird. It's just that the whole time
Yes.
thing is actually quite funny.
Yeah,
But the
yeah.
rest of it is horrible.
Yeah. Pierce,
Deeply horrible.
yeah, Pierce Brosnan and Mrs. Doubtfire director Chris Columbus weirdly working together for the first time in 30 years on this week's new release, The Thursday Murder Club, which I've just clicked
yes.
this second.
I am a Chris Columbus defender.
He
as well.
seems like a nice man, but he made Mrs.
He
Doubtfire.
made Mrs.
Then we've got Big Mama's House,
Which I think solves some of the Mrs. Doubtfire problems.
does it now? How so?
I think everyone believes that it's a real woman. most
Yeah,
of
well,
the
it is a
time.
real woman. So the difference with Big Mama's House to Some Like It Hot or Miss Doubtfire is
Yeah.
that Big Mama is a real person that he is pretending to be. There is a woman in that film that he is dressing up as.
Yeah.
But in the second movie, she's not part of the
No,
plot
no,
anymore.
he gets sent off on another mission.
and he just decides to dress up as Big Mama again.
yeah,
anyway.
because he needs to pose as a nanny.
But he needs to find a new disguise. He can't just dress up as the specific woman, Big Mama.
But he had the suit.
on get a new suit.
Why?
It can't have cost that much.
It was
He's so
2008. There
entrenched.
was a recession.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
recession. What are the other
He's got
men
the
dressing up
characters
as?
so well down. Like it takes. Do you know how long it takes to learn
Sure.
a new character?
Are there any are there serial killer thriller movies where men are dressing up as women that I'm forgetting about? That is a
Sure.
where it's like a
Psycho?
cisgender man. What? Psycho.
I've kind of forgotten the.
No, in Psycho he's doing it as an act of sort of mother issues, whatever.
Yeah.
being
Yeah.
It's not necessarily like he's not doing it for
Do we
nefarious
see him on
purposes.
screen at all dressed up as?
Yeah, you do at the very end. Yeah.
At the very
he's
end, it's just
revealed.
the very-
Like
yeah,
they go
yeah.
in to meet the mother, and then it's like it's Norman
Yeah,
Bates.
that's him.
Dressed as a woman, I don't know off the top of my head, and that's a
Good, you've avoided most of the dreadful dressed as a woman cinema. Like
good. I mean, it shouldn't exist. There's White Chicks.
White Chicks. I've
That's
never.
a horror film.
That scares me. I've never watched that. I would never watch White Chicks. I hate the notion of it. It scares me too much.
White Chick leans in too much. They do a similar Osgood kind of dynamic of like
Oh,
Terry
yeah.
Crews falls in love with one of them,
Right. Okay.
and it's done that he doesn't care. But it is kind of making fun of
Right.
a man falling in love with a man.
Sure.
Which is weird because Terry Crews is deeply beautiful as a person, and as
Seems
far as
like
we
a
Oh, the
know-
very
exact
nice
same thing
ally,
happens in
yeah.
Big Mama's House 3.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Who's the love interest?
The security guard at the college.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I think I think Some Like It Hot ends on a really positive note of
I think that ends in a
I-
positive note.
maybe
so.
it does. I think that the Nobody's Perfect is like a very nice note to end on of like be whoever you want to be, you know? Like Osgood has
yeah.
fallen in love with Jerry/Daphne.
And I think
I doesn't really care.
Jerry/Daphne has decided they're in love with Osgood.
I
Like
think
with that
so.
Maracas scene.
Yes.
Like he is repeatedly saying he doesn't care, and then having to do that. I'm a boy. I'm a boy. Like
yes.
it's almost as though it's forced upon him to not like.
Oh, it
Osgood.
takes real effort to snap him out of being Daphne.
Yeah.
Like he's so
He's
settled
really
on
in
it.
Like I wonder, is there any reason to believe that he will continue to live his life? If she will continue to live her life as Daphne beyond the end of this
I
film,
know, yeah.
or
if
is,
the mob never showed up, it'd be
yeah,
Daphne
or
forever.
is Jerry happy to be with Osgood as Jerry? I'm not sure.
I think it's a bit of both, and I think it's funny in the beginning where it's like Josephine and Geraldine.
Yes.
And then she immediately is like, "Oh, it's actually Daphne."
Mm-hmm.
I've been thinking about this. I've picked out my name. Like I feel like it's set up from very early that Jerry is feminine. But
Yes.
like in the Broadway version, the most recent one,
Mm-hmm.
the character is played by a non-binary actor.
Okay.
And the end is pretty much them
Interesting.
accepting that
Yeah.
they're pursuing this life. And I feel like if the film was to be remade, it would be like a self-identity thing where
Yes.
you have the Jerry Daphne character actually go, fuck this is
Yeah,
who
yeah.
I am.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. Yeah. No, you can do such a more explicitly nuanced version of the gender role stuff now, I suppose, with people's existing knowledge of
Yeah.
that stuff. It's interesting. God.
And I think if you were to recast it, well, you're naming out people. It actually probably should be a non-binary actor. Even for
Yeah.
the comedy, it would work so well.
Yes, it would be very funny, and you get so many pronoun jokes, but they'd be good pronoun
But they'd
jokes.
be good ones.
We'd finally get good pronoun jokes to balance out the
Yeah.
shitty pronoun jokes.
I think in this version, he is going off and living his best life with Osgood in whatever way he feels that morning,
Yes. No, I agree, 100%.
which I love.
The stuff in this movie that doesn't work quite as well for me is like the mob bits are kind of dull. I don't know. What did you think of
Oh,
this?
I like the mob bits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the end, the meat, the cake, the guy bursting out with the cake is a great ending, but that scene takes a long time to get going. There's like a lot of like the mob are here, and you're like,
They are, but like there's a solid 40 minutes in the middle where like the mob are just not thought
course.
of, and like it completely goes off on a. You completely forget the mob or even.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, they're just
the
hanging out at the resort.
They're kind of just there to resolve it at the end.
Yeah.
I do like Spats Columbo. I do
Spats Columbo's a great
I do love that he is identified primarily by this little garment he wears on his foot.
Yes, we got Spats Columbo, we got Toothpick Charlie.
Yeah.
And
Toothpick Charlie is not called Toothpick Charlie because he is skinny. It is because he has a toothpick in his
Yes,
mouth.
Johnny.
gold-plated at the end.
It is. Edward G. Robinson Jr. as Johnny Paradise. I didn't know that was Edward G. Robinson Jr. And then we have, of course, my favorite character name in the film, Mr. Beanstalk.
Oh,
and
Mr. Beanstalk,
He's the
yeah.
one man. This is interesting. So that, like, when you know the guys show up, and there's a sense of like this is a woman's space, and the boys, the Jack Lemmon and Tony Curtis, are now like infiltrating this woman's only space. They're being treated as girls, and there's this like real girly atmosphere. But Mr. Beanstalk has been there as a man the whole time, and they all just ignore him and pretend he's not there. Where's his? He needs to assert his masculinity. They're ignoring him.
Well, if he did, he'd probably be kicked off the train.
Are they just genuinely forgetting he's there? Like,
Yeah.
Or is there an
Yeah.
implication that Mr. Beanstalk is maybe like a gay man that they are happy to have around or something? I don't know.
I think he's just so deeply unthreatening, and the problem with them all is just threatening.
Yeah.
Kind of does nothing. He's a bit incompetent.
He's just doing nothing.
He's
yeah.
So what's
incredibly
the, sorry, what's the
incompetent.
name of the boss lady?
The boss lady.
Sue?
Sue.
Yeah,
Sweet
Sweet
Sue.
Sue,
Sweet Sue,
played by
yes.
Joan Shawley.
Yeah.
She's great.
She is great. This is apparently based on a French screenplay. A lot of these
It
Billy
is.
Wilder comedies, this has big French energy, though. I mean, if you think about the fact that The Birdcage is based on Cajofol, like this is based on
A very deeply problematic film I wouldn't encourage
French
to
one?
watch. Yeah.
I can imagine.
Including lots more disguises, not just women.
Would I be correct in thinking that some different ethnicities get portrayed in that film?
Yeah.
Rob Schneider might be making an
Which,
appearance.
even in the
Charlie
50s,
Luzardo.
Billy Wilder was like, I can't do that.
Yes, exactly. Billy Wilder, the king of woke in
Yeah.
1955. No.
Which is where the gangster thing comes in. He's like, I need to give them a real reason to dress up as women.
Yes, exactly.
And then obviously Googled. Oh, didn't Google. That's ridiculous to say.
Looked it up in an
Looked up things
encyclopedia.
that happened in the 1920s and went, oh, the Valentine's Day Massacre happened. I'll just use that.
Yes.
It's a real event. People
fun.
died.
Yeah.
That is
And
fun.
he was like, I'll write a comedy movie and the first 10 minutes are just going to be about people getting murdered.
Incredible.
Which is nuts that
It
the
is
first
nuts, but
10
he makes
minutes
it
are
work.
played straight.
But he's
I- I wonder if, because they made this in the 50s, did they have to set it in the 20s to make the setting?
20s.
It's set in
Yeah,
the
it's set
20s.
during Prohibition.
Yeah, I guess so.
So I'm like, did they set this 30 years in the
Roaring
past
20s.
because you couldn't have a man dressing up as a woman in the 50s?
As in things were more, things
Yeah,
regressed.
things had gotten
A man
worse.
dressing up as a
They
woman
did.
was more acceptable in the 20s than in the 50s, maybe.
You weren't getting women dressing without bras on in the 60s.
60s, yeah.
Like getting Marilyn Monroe to basically wear a sheer top
Yes. It's
could only
interesting.
happen in the 20s.
In the 20s, yeah, it's funny.
So unless it was like a sexy thing that they wanted them to be like showgirls.
Maybe. The idea of a 30 years previous period piece is so funny because that's 1995 now. And you're like, no one's setting movies in 1995.
Yeah.
I'll have you know,
I guess it's like-
Y2K.
Y2K, sure. But
Y2K.
that's a specific
That's
joke.
the
like,
Prohibition of our time.
Madam Web is set in Madam Web is set in
Web.
2003, which we're really interested
For
in.
absolutely no
For
reason.
no reason.
Yeah.
Well, the idea I think is that it's meant to line up with Tom Holland's Spider-Man's birth. That's
Sure.
That's literally why.
Couldn't care less.
But then it's great because they throw Toxic by Britney Spears, and you're like, 2003, yes, please.
1995 period piece.
I do like the Prohibition element of it. I always think
Oh,
that's a fun
it's always
tool.
fun. We just did Roaring Twenties.
Yeah,
It's
sure.
great,
It,
yeah.
it opens with them going to a speakeasy hidden behind a funeral home.
What's the funeral home called? Do you remember? It's got a great
Mozzarella's.
name. Mozzarella's funeral
Mozzarella's
parlor.
funeral
It's great.
parlor. Yeah.
Beautiful.
And you have to say, I'm here for grandma's funeral or something to get as the password.
That's so good.
It's very good.
Unbelievable.
Monroe worked for 10% of the gross in excess of $4 million, Curtis for 5% of the gross for over $2 million, and Wilder
Oh, Jesus.
for 17.5% of the first million after break even and 20% thereafter. Jesus, that's a good deal. That's a Tom
Yeah.
Cruise deal.
Yeah.
20% of the gross.
But Marilyn Monroe had her own production company at this point, so she
Wow.
was like negotiating and had 3 years off films.
Interesting.
So this was her comeback.
So
maybe.
what notes have you about Marilyn Monroe? Have you anything? Let
Oh my
you
God.
take the lead on the Marilyn Monroe because you know way more about her than I will ever know.
Even notes wise, I don't know what I have here
Mm-hmm.
that would be useful, but I know that she had filmed a lot in the 50s and had to take a break because she was like chronically ill. Always sick. It became a problem in the production. She
Yeah.
had endometritis, which like now we can treat, but at the time they were like, we'll give her like whatever the equivalent of a methamphetamine is.
Yeah.
And we'll knock her out for 2
Look,
years.
we skimmed Blonde the other night, and Blonde
Jesus
clearly
Christ.
no one likes Blonde. Okay, like I have literally had a conversation with the child of someone depicted in that film who said that they hated Blonde.
Evil movie.
It seems like a pretty roundly accepted evil movie,
Evil
but it was interesting to see, I guess, how bad things seemed for Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah.
That movie is like the shrillest, nastiest thing we've ever put on in this house. Shane is like a
Like,
much
we-
stronger
we-
stomach than me, and he was like, "Turn this off."
We went through to find a cameo of Jack Lemmon's son.
Yes, so
Yeah,
Jack Lemmon's
the
son
actual son,
does
yeah.
the Nobody's Perfect scene on the
Yeah.
screen.
Yeah, so
at
we
the premiere.
went
So
we
we were
put
looking
on
for
this
him.
3-hour film to find this like 20-second clip, and so we jumped 10 minutes. Everything was just her screaming and being fucking.
injections and like
A fetus speaking to her.
Stop. Yeah.
speaking was probably the least upsetting thing I saw. Like
I
it was-
watched it on an airplane.
Oh Jesus Christ!
And I
was
really
just
had a
her being-
moment the second time the fetus reappeared speaking again where I was like, I actually have to turn this off.
Yeah.
This
It's
is
Just
now
her being fucking
horrible.
manhandled and like it
Yeah.
was.
But she did have a horrible life. That movie is
seems
just
it.
deeply manipulative.
Yeah.
Does that film make it look worse?
The film makes
or
it
is it
look
just-
like she was more of an active participant.
Right.
Okay.
Where she like and also kind of blames her for potentially having a miscarriage that we don't really know anything about.
Yeah.
She wanted to be a mum. We do know that. She was trying really hard to have a baby with Arthur Miller, who
Yeah.
she'd married before she filmed this. But from what we actually know about her and Arthur Miller, they were kind of fine. He was just really pretentious, and she really wanted to be a serious actor. And then they kind of grew apart because he couldn't handle her being a Hollywood star, but she didn't want to be a Hollywood star anyway.
Yeah.
So a really weird scenario. He's on set a bunch for Some Like It Hot, makes things horrible for everybody else. But before the film, she's not been blacklisted, like she stepped away, but people are like, where's Marilyn Monroe gone? It's like 2 years in 1957 is like, she's taken a 10-year break. Because at that point, you were pumping out a movie a year.
Exactly, yeah, that's a big break.
So it's a huge deal that she's not taking things. She really hated the 7-Year Itch in terms of when she watched it back, and she's the dumb blonde for the entire thing. She doesn't like it.
I watched it the other day. I thought it was so much fun.
She's phenomenal.
She's so good. There's 2 films now I've watched recently with 2 of these stars: The 7-Year Itch and a Jack Lemmon movie called Under the Yum Yum Tree.
Oh yes.
These films are very similar. These films both have the premise of what if a guy was a creep. Under the Yum Yum Tree, I like a little bit more. I think no, I don't know. Under the Yum Yum Tree doesn't really hold together as well. The plot of Under the Yum Yum Tree is that Jack Lemmon is a landlord, and his tenants, who are Dean Jones and an actress I can't remember the name of, are about to have sex in the apartment for the first time, and he knows this, and he's determined to get a peek at it. The entire movie is set on...
He's not trying to sleep with the lady.
No, he just wants... Well, a little bit, sorry, but he mostly just wants to watch
He's just
them.
a peeping Tom.
Okay.
So he gets binoculars, and he climbs up on the roof, and there's a cat.
He like dangles upside down.
Yeah, he dangles upside down. The cat keeps getting in his way. He'll be dangling there, and then the cat will go, "Meow," and he'll fall or whatever. There is, you're right. There's a bit where Dean Jones, he does like a prank call so that Dean Jones leaves the apartment, and then he goes in and is like, "Hello, young lady. Would you like to come out to the bar with me for a drink?" This movie is
I thought the plot of that is he is
gas.
trying to get them to not sleep together.
I think he starts off wanting to peep,
Yeah.
and then he ends up wanting to break them up.
Because a very funny bit throughout is he keeps buying them exercise equipment. Because he somehow manipulates them into thinking that whenever you're horny, what you need to do is exercise and it will kill the craving.
Yes. You're right, he is. He's trying to steal her away.
Yeah.
Sounds like my teachers in secondary
Oh
school.
dear. Well, it's you might find it upsetting, but I thought it was a great time.
Deeply a movie that could only be made in 1954
Yeah,
or
and look,
2004.
Jack Lemmon
Yeah.
is the world's most charming pervert.
I know.
He can get, but the apartment is also really
Yeah.
pervy, but he
Yeah.
pulls it off in such an
we were
endearing
saying,
way.
I don't think he's pervy in the apartment, though, right? Is he not very like, I will leave this woman be when she's recovering? Like he's the
No,
one guy.
towards Shirley MacLaine.
Towards Shirley MacLaine,
Not
yeah.
pervy. Towards everything else,
he pervy towards
really
everyone else?
weird
Yeah.
that he's not like more actively
Sure.
trying to help these women. And then
Yes,
the whole
fair.
thing is that he has this moral realization
Yeah,
that
yeah,
what he's
yeah,
doing
that's
is
fair.
bad. But he's not being creepy for most of it. He's just generally
That's
pervy.
true. Well, The 7-Year Itch is a somewhat similar premise in that it is creepy man whose wife and kids go away for the
Yes.
summer, and Marilyn Monroe moves in upstairs, and he's like, well, I have the apartment to
Yeah.
myself, and he invites her down for a drink. But then this is where the movie has like a twist that I adored, which is that he tries to kiss her, and she says, oh, no, thank you. And then he spends the next day thinking he's gonna get fucking cancelled.
Yeah,
and
me
it's
too.
a great like cancellation neurosis movie of him going to his shrink, being like, "They're gonna be talking about me in the newspapers." It's so good.
Because she's so much younger than him.
Yeah.
And it's set up
He's
from the beginning.
so creepy.
I think she's so deeply charming in it. Everything about her physicality in the movie is so good. She'd also done Gentlemen Prefer Blondes
Yes.
and How to Marry a Millionaire.
So I watched Gentlemen Prefer Blondes last week, and I saw you watched How to Marry a Millionaire. Rewatched
Yes.
it this week. I thought Gentlemen Prefer Blondes was grand. I thought she was really good in it. She really reminded me of Margot Robbie in Barbie.
Yeah, I think Margot Robbie emulates her on purpose in
think
a
so.
good way. I'm
In a
not
good
saying
way,
that she's
yeah.
trying to copy
I
her.
would say that the spectrum of people now emulating her is Margot Robbie on one end and Sabrina Carpenter on the other end, in terms of like
They've latched onto different aspects.
yeah.
Of
Yeah.
Sabrina
She
Carpenter's
had.
latched on to the kind of the cartoon elements of the batting of the eyelashes.
Yes.
And Margot Robbie's maybe latched on to, and I'm not like the number one biggest fan of Margot Robbie as a dramatic actress. I think she is probably better in Babylon and Barbie and stuff where she's being a bit kooky and funny. Like
Yes.
I don't like I, Tonya that much, but I think she can latch on to that Marilyn Monroe as a dramatic actress thing if she tries. Like
I think the closest thing we currently have to a Marilyn Monroe style actress that can do funny really well
Mm-hmm.
and serious really well and always is endearing on screen is Ariana DeBois, who has the worst filmography
gonna
bar
get me
West Side
defending her.
Story. No, but she's
All I've seen
phenomenal
her
in
in.
West Side Story, which is a kind of role that Marilyn Monroe, had there been a similar type, should have been playing, where it's serious
Sure.
but about being charming. And this kind of fun role against men where you're still in charge, which
Yeah.
is what she should have been doing, but those roles didn't exist
I
for her.
think West Side Story sets Ariana up for failure because they cast Rita Moreno in the movie, and I'm just sitting there thinking, well, she's not Rita Moreno.
I entirely disagree.
I
I think she's
didn't-
magnetic.
That's interesting. I came away from that thinking, Rachel Zegler's a star. Rita Moreno's great. Pity we couldn't have Rita Moreno again as that character. And the only other thing I've seen Ariana in is Argyle, because I didn't watch Craven the
Not
Hunter.
good.
And then obviously she's just kind of become a bit of unfortunately, a bit of a meme because
Yeah.
of, Angela Bassett did the thing. So I'm like, I believe you that she's great, but I'd have to see a little bit more proof.
I think the entire America scene where she's going through the streets of New York and she's like fighting with all of these men in the most charming way possible is the most Marilyn Monroe
That's an
thing.
impossible role to play. And
Yeah,
she does a good
it's
job.
impossible.
The Marilyn Monroe comparison's interesting. I mean,
So I think those roles should have existed for Marilyn Monroe.
Yes.
Misfits is the closest she gets to it, where she can be smart.
Yes.
She's not playing dumb. It was written for her by Arthur Miller.
Yes, that's a
because
great. That's
they
a
were
great
fed up
performance.
of doing- it's so good. I just feel really sorry for her when I watch her movies leading up to Some Like It Hot, because she's just dumb.
Yeah. So Something
she
Like It
doesn't
Hot's
want
her
to be dumb.
third last film, and then
Yeah.
The Misfits is 2 years later. It's crazy. The Misfits feels like such a sophistication,
Yeah.
development on this. She so there's a weird mix of color black and white films towards the end there. It's
She
funny.
had a stipulation for most of her career that she only filmed in Technicolor. She did not want to be in
Interesting, yeah.
black and white. She fell out with Billy Wilder over being in black and white
Mad.
and Some Like It Hot.
Mad,
And he
that's her
told her
most
they
iconic film,
had to do it
Yeah.
because the makeup would look really bad on the boys
Interesting. That's
in
an interesting
Technicolor,
reason.
which is a funny reason that he since
That is
or
interesting.
not since, but after admitted it was completely a lie.
To go back to The Boys for just 1 second, I'm seeing here that Wilder's first idea for the role of Jerry was Frank Sinatra, but he later thought that would be too difficult. I don't know what he means by that would be too difficult. That it would be too
To get Frank, or
hard
Frank
to make
thought
him
it
be
would
convincing
too
as a
diff-
woman. No, as Wilder
Maybe.
thought it would be too difficult.
And Jerry Lewis was probably
Jerry Lewis
in,
and
I
Danny
think.
Kaye were considered for the role of Jerry as well. I mean,
There's a crazy rumor. I don't know any truth to it, that Jack Lemmon sent Jerry Lewis flowers every year after
yeah?
he turned down Some Like It
He's
Hot.
like, thank you so much for giving me this
Yeah.
role. Yeah, maybe.
Cannot tell you if it's true. It sounds like
Interesting.
the kind of thing he would have
Yeah.
done.
Yeah,
I
if
think-
you're receiving those flowers, you're probably just like, fuck, I should have done that.
Yeah, I like Jerry. Yeah, that's the
Bastard,
Matt
leave me-
Damon
leave me
gets.
alone.
Matt Damon gets one of those from Sam Worthington every year
He
for
does, yeah,
Avatar.
for
Like,
Avatar.
Yeah.
I think Jerry Lewis is funny. I think Danny Kaye is like a very annoying actor. I don't know if you've seen him in anything. He's like a real fucking he's in the Hans Christian Andersen musical. He's a real funny guy, funny voices. He's like doing kind of Robin Williams bullshit in the 1940s and 50s.
Off the top of my head, absolutely
I
no.
find him very irritating. But back to Marilyn Monroe. The Gentleman Before Blondes is largely set on a boat, which isn't my favorite type of setting for a fun musical, but she is great in it.
She's great, and she has these dream sequences.
Yes.
where she gets to be dramatic and
Yeah.
fun. She's good. And in How to Marry a Millionaire,
Yes.
she just basically plays somebody with an astigmatism who keeps walking into things.
That's really funny.
And her entire character growth is that she decides that she needs to wear her glasses,
Great.
and it's genuinely
Giving her
so sweet.
Intelligent roles for an intelligent woman.
But
nobody's
she, and
perfect.
she plays funny in it.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's great. What was I going to say there about... Oh, yeah. What do you ever see that SNL skit with Brendan Gleeson and the Marilyn Monroe fan mail? I thought that's a great sketch. I really like that. I
Love
think-
Brendan Gleeson's entire stint on SNL.
I think that sketch is the best one, where I watched that 4 times, where Chloe Feynman does a very good Marilyn Monroe, and Brendan Gleeson is, and I think Brendan Gleeson and Heidi Gardner are the two assistants reading the mail, and it's like, dear Marilyn, you are so ugly, and then the next one will be nice, we promise.
Yeah.
It's good fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Misfits is like, do you want to describe it? It's like a weird postmodern Western thing.
The problem is with the Misfits, and I think I said it to you when I recommended it.
Yeah.
It does it a disservice to describe it to people because it sounds really creepy on paper.
Mm-hmm.
It's Marilyn Monroe against Clark Gable and
Old Clark Gable.
so Clark Gable and Marilyn Monroe's last movie each, which is really weird considering
that's-
she's 40 years.
That's depressing, yeah.
maybe not 40 years as junior.
Yeah.
And it's kind of she develops a relationship with each of the 3 men.
Yes.
But not in a creepy way,
Yes.
considering they're a lot older than her. And it's this kind of, she's playing them, they're playing her.
She's struggling with tackling their masculinity, I guess.
Yes.
Especially when it comes to, and I found the ending very powerful, where it comes to basically torturing animals, and she's the only they're basically just going to fuck around with these horses, right?
Yeah.
And she's the only woman in the movie, and these men are jocular with each other, let's get these horses, and she's like, what are you doing? This is so cruel. And like
Yeah.
has this big outburst at the end, and it's really, really great.
She plays a really soft, powerful woman, which is a really hard role to write.
Yes.
And is very clearly written to be her.
Yes.
Like, it's written by her husband, who was fed up of her getting written these dumb blonde roles, who, like, fell out with Tony Curtis on a set of Some Like It Hot, who fell out with Billy Wilder
Yeah.
after Some Like It Hot. So
And the
clearly took
second
the
he-
time
yeah.
to write this.
The
and
second he
go-
starts writing good roles for her, and it's her last film.
It's her last
They could have
film.
had a great.
And they break
run.
up on set in front of everyone while they're filming The
Oh,
Misfits.
God.
And then he writes a play about it after she dies.
Which one
and
is
hit-
that?
Finishing the picture.
Oh,
It's
wow,
not
okay.
done often, and he writes his new wife into it as Marilyn Monroe's assistant, which is super offensive and just
yeah.
not nice. And she's like 20. Not anti Arthur Miller, just think he was a bit creepy towards her.
Sure.
Like, to break up with your wife on set while you're filming her.
Yeah.
And
What-
well, he punched Tony Curtis on set because Tony Curtis shoves Marilyn Monroe at one point on the film set.
Oh, that sounds fine.
Yeah, that sounds fine. I think
Yeah, well,
shoving
she's
Tony
also
Curtis is fine.
pregnant, and he's aware she's pregnant.
yeah.
He leaks it to the news. The three of them have a huge fallout, and
Good
she comes
grief.
at him during a scene,
Yeah.
and then he shoves her, and Arthur Miller runs on and punches him.
Well, fair play. What did you? Have you seen the Michelle Williams movie? What do you think of that?
My Week with Marilyn?
Yeah, I watched it recently. I thought it was decent. I liked
Is that
it.
Eddie Redmayne?
Yeah, Eddie
I
Redmayne
haven't
is,
seen that in years.
Eddie Redmayne is the protagonist of it, and he's hired as her assistant, and it's from his perspective, and she kind of drifts in and out of it. It's very PG rated.
Yeah.
And Kenneth Branagh is in it, and Emma Watson is in it. Weirdly,
I haven't watched it in years, but I remember
Yeah.
there being a scene where he's outside her door, and she's clearly crying on the other side of the door, and it's a really lovely kind of
Yeah.
genuine tribute. I don't think the movie was good from what I remember, but I can't say I've watched it recently.
I think in a world where there's a blonde, it's like the complete opposite, where it's like too whitewashed. Like, like it's like, look at all these men who were so nice to Marilyn Monroe and treated her so well in a way that's a bit made up, but like it is
Yeah.
certainly a more palatable watch than I'm sure Blonde is.
I'll give it a rewatch.
I thought it was fine. I think Michelle Williams can do no wrong and is a fun choice to play Marilyn
She's
Monroe.
definitely like the look of Marilyn Monroe.
She's the last person I would cast as Marilyn Monroe. Well, no, I think Anna de Armas is literally the last person I would cast as Marilyn Monroe. But they're being creative with their choices. But yeah, is there anything else to say about Marilyn Monroe's career? She's like, as I said, probably maybe the most famous person we've ever talked about.
There's probably so much to say that it's almost
Yeah,
overwhelming.
sorry. In The Misfits, she reminded me of, I said to you, Kelly Preston, who I'm a big fan of, who died young a couple of years ago, and she is in this baseball movie with Kevin Costner for Love of the Game, where she gives this great speech where she's like in a train station or an airport, starts screaming at everybody, "Is this not America? And is baseball not America's favorite pastime?" And she's so good. And I thought that Marilyn Monroe screaming and the end of The Misfits was very similar, and she has similar face and vibe. And then Clark Gable reminded me in it of Ralph Waite as the dad on The Waltons, who has this is the most gentle, like masculine figure you'll ever see. And I thought he reminded me a lot of him. I thought that was lovely.
I think the other big thing about her career worth mentioning, which we were speaking about earlier, is the Strasbergs.
Oh yes.
So she left in between those 2 years, moved to New York, and started studying with them. Basically funded them in their rent to take on other actors, and they came to the set of Some Like It Hot, and I think the set of Misfits as well.
Okay.
So she would take like 100 takes to do a take because Paula and Lee Strasberg would be consistently whispering in her ear, and I think they got banned off set.
Okay, great.
She just wanted to be a really good actress. That's all she wanted. She never did theater with them, but I think
Yeah.
the goal for her was to get onto a stage and give it like a one-take wonder, which is what she could do.
Yeah.
She couldn't do close-ups. She couldn't do anything that focused on her physicality, which is ironic because she's like most known now for being the
Yes.
most beautiful person. Which is crazy. Like, it's just sad that she's remembered as something she's
I know.
different
I
to.
wonder is the continued fetishization of her now in a kind of a kitschy 60s, throwbacky way as like a sex symbol is maybe it's still really like dismissive of her talent, and like that's, we remember Audrey Hepburn as stylish. We remember Katharine Hepburn as a great actress, and then we remember Marilyn Monroe as sexy, and maybe they should all be more the great actress thing should be the primary thing for all of them.
I think she's at least as good as Audrey Hepburn.
I think so. I mean, I don't think Audrey Hepburn is like the greatest actress ever.
No,
so
but
I think
she's
that
really
they're
charming.
both really great. Yeah.
And I think, I mean, super important. she loses Breakfast with Tiffany's because of this film.
Mm.
Because Billy Wilder goes talking about her to
Right.
every press in town.
Fuck's sake.
And Truman Capote had like
Yeah.
campaigned for Marilyn Monroe to
Right.
get Breakfast with Tiffany's, which could have been like the best movie ever for
I guess.
her.
Yeah. I don't like Breakfast at Tiffany's that much. So I think she maybe is better off.
She might be better off. It's a smart role.
Yeah.
The problem
true.
with Breakfast with Tiffany's kind of lies in the upstairs Mickey.
that there is that whole element to it. I
But
also
the
just
actual
find it
character of
boring,
Holly
but
Golightly is
it's a good
lovely.
character. Yeah, yeah. No, I mean,
So it's a shame.
it's a shame, but maybe we get Audrey Hepburn's success and Marilyn Monroe's
Yeah.
success legacies as a result. I don't know.
This is just the peak of her career,
Yes.
unfortunately. Even though she's a better performance after this.
Yes.
But it also ruins the rest of her career,
Yeah.
which is really ironic.
Crazy, but it is still, a great film.
It's still beautiful. I love it.
We've talked about Jack Lemmon before. I don't really want to go through too many of them. I'm looking here at some of the comedies, but we've talked about him before. Have I watched any new Jack Lemmon films recently? Yes, I have. What have you watched recently?
Well, Under the Yum Yum Tree.
Under the Yum
obviously,
Yum
but
Tree,
we kinda-
obviously.
we of course
Obviously.
had to get to that first.
Yes, Mr. Roberts, as I said, was great. China Syndrome, I've watched since our last Jack Lemmon. That's a great movie about a nuclear meltdown with him and
Yeah,
Jane
I need to
Fonda.
watch that.
Michael Douglas,
Ooh.
it's so good. I mean, I watched the Prisoner of Second Avenue the other day, which is this adaptation of a Neil Simon where he's like a guy who loses his job and he's stuck in his apartment and he's losing his mind. And his wife is played by Anne Bancroft from The Graduate, and I thought it was very moving. I really loved it. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like we have to do a thorough Lemmon discussion if we're doing another episode. This episode is more of the Marilyn Monroe
There's a
discussion.
good Lemon Marlin tie-in again in The Apartment,
Is there?
if anyone remembers it.
No, I don't.
The first time we figure out what's happening in the apartment is when one of his coworkers calls him from a payphone
Okay.
and it's like, I've got a girl here. She looks like Marilyn Monroe. I want to bring her up to the
Oh,
flat.
wow.
And then a drunk woman starts banging on the payphone and
that's
it's like,
funny.
Daddy,
Okay.
are you coming home?
I
And it's
do
a
not
girl
remember
doing
this.
a Marilyn impression
Oh,
because
Jesus.
Billy Wilder was so bitter
That's so funny.
about Some Like It Hot, despite the fact it made him so much money.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
But kind of funny, and I feel like
It's kinda
it's
funny.
not the most. It's
No,
not the most
I
harmful.
forgot about that, and I've
It's
seen-
a funny bit.
Yeah. Jack Lemmon and Tony Curtis do another big comedy together 10 years later called The Great Race, where Natalie Wood is the woman, and
Yes.
that is really long. The greatest comedy of all time, it says on the poster. God, it's almost 3 hours long. And it's just about them racing across America in these like fancy cars. Peter Falk is in it, and Keenan Wynn is in it, but I watched it as a child. I thought it was fun. It would be tough now to get me to sit down and watch that. But yeah, Some Like It Hot was voted, AFI's greatest American comedy film ever once or twice. And I do push back against that. I mean, it's just not for me, like in the upper echelon of the greatest comedies. I sit there laughing out loud as much as I do with many others. Like if you ask me what the greatest American comedy is, my answer is probably What's Up, Doc, which is, I think, like the most perfect nonstop funny comedy. But I'm not mad at this as a choice. I mean, at least it's something before the 1980s. But like,
And it is funny.
it is very funny.
It's very funny.
But I wouldn't say it's one of the funniest comedies of all time. Now, we went to see Popstar Never Stopping on
There's
Saturday.
there's a funny film.
That's a funny film.
The greatest American comedy.
I'm putting that on my list
the
of the greatest
21st
American
century.
comedies. Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Roderick Rules. That's
Yeah.
going in my list. These are two films I've rewatched in the last month that I was like laughing constantly
Funny.
for 90 minutes.
I think it's very funny. I
is very
definitely
funny.
laugh a lot at it. I think that kind of physical humor is so up my alley. Like
Sure.
I would rank probably Duck Soup as the funniest film.
Okay,
Maybe that's a
interesting.
bad take,
No,
but
those are good.
it makes me giggle.
Yeah, Duck Soup's good. I like A Night at the Opera better than Duck Soup, I think.
That's
but those
yeah.
are good.
It's probably like a
Marx
personal
Brothers.
thing.
Yeah.
But
they're
in the
good.
same thing where the girl's legs are all dangling and you have Tony Curtis's head pop out.
Yeah. Well, that's
That
just
is
great.
so funny. Like it
brilliant.
really is so good.
Yeah.
And them running up and down almost like a pantomime.
Yeah, I think a lot of pantomime
Benny
stuff comes
Hill.
from this film now, I think.
Yeah.
It's a big influence on that.
And I think even just the dialogue is really witty. Like they make jokes
Yeah.
about like other women in the office killing themselves because Valentino died. And like
Brilliant.
the whiskey is half full, like tiny little
Yeah.
throwaway, very
Yes.
traditionally like screwball.
Yeah, it's
I
good.
love
It's
it.
good and broad, and like I can see why the kids in my primary school were able to get into this, even if they were, immune to the charms of other classic films.
It's a universal
good thing.
film.
It is
I don't think
universal, yeah.
anyone would watch this
Yeah.
and go, that is
Like
bad.
if you had to pick a film to show on a big screen in a public place for anyone walking past to stop and enjoy, this would be a good one to put on, I think.
This or Singing in the Rain.
Yeah.
There is that one pub off Fade Street that does that. What's that called?
O'Regan's.
O'Regan's, yeah.
O'Regan's,
They just always have a black and white 1940s film on
Really?
inside.
I don't think I've been to
on a
O'Regan's.
projector.
On a projector, yeah.
You know,
It's so
It's
funny.
on the opposite corner to Hogan's.
Oh, right. Crowbar Crowbar under the Button Factory used to have the Harry Potters on a loop all the time on a
Jesus.
big screen.
Wild.
Yeah, I
Silent,
went
in silent. In silence.
silently. Yeah, I'd be in there. I'd sit there for 2 hours and I'd watch most of Azkaban. I'd be logging it on the
about to
letterbox.
say-
Yeah, I've been in
log it.
Hogan's a few times. I've turned to my right and just see a big Jimmy Stewart head. And I'm like, what's going on over
Yeah.
there? I
Yeah.
just stand at the window.
That's great.
And
It's like being in
sometimes
our
they
house.
have sound on. Sometimes
Oh,
the
do they?
movie
Yeah.
is
I've never
going in
actually got into it.
Oregon's.
Yeah.
There should be more public places you can sit and watch a classic movie. Like,
I don't know. If
We're
there's a
thinking
place
of-
where you
on a
can
loop.
watch. I
We're
think
gonna
this,
rent
I think this is a decorative.
yeah, we're gonna rent the
feature, but-
premises across the road, and we're gonna turn it into a community space with classic films showing all the time.
Yeah.
Royal
Four.
Canal Hall or whatever we're gonna call it. So, Letterboxd top 4 game. I've come up with a fun new twist on this game, which is I've picked a celebrity who has this film in their top 4.
Oh, yeah?
Ooh.
And there's
Do
two
we have
options.
to guess the celebrity? Or?
No, but I'll give you 2 options. You can. Do you want Steve Carell's Letterboxd top 4 or John Carney's Letterboxd top 4?
Steve Carell was in Ireland this week. We'll do
He
his.
was. Okay, great.
John Carney's probably always in Ireland.
2 people we've talked about on this podcast before. All right, Steve Carell has Some Like It Hot in his Letterboxd top 4. First film on that list is another classic comedy. I would guess number 2 on AFI's best comedies of all time, probably
Okay.
number 2 or number 3. I've never seen it start to finish because I thought it was going to freak me out for years.
Oh.
Stars a great comedy actor who turns 100 years old this week.
Wow.
He's dead, but he's turning 100 this week. But it's about something serious. It's about a scary situation, but it's a funny way of dealing with a scary situation. It's by a great director who's used as shorthand for, men who are into film are so annoying.
It's like Doctor Strangelove.
Doctor Strangelove.
Yeah.
You've never seen Doctor Strange. though?
Not all of it.
I
no.
saw the stage production of it.
We both did. We saw the I saw the Coogan
poor
version. It was
gosh.
really good. Yeah.
They do a good job of airplane on stage.
Yeah, that's a
did.
good
Airplane was
production,
good, yeah.
actually.
I never watched it because I was scared of the nuclear stuff, and now I will watch it. I will.
Yeah, do.
Yeah.
It's
And
great.
it will ultimately disappoint compared to
Because of
Failsafe.
Failsafe, which
That's
is the
Steve Carell's #1 film.
yeah. Well, I think it is his number 1 film. Number 2 is Something Like It Hot. Number 3 is another Billy Wilder film. Now we haven't mentioned once in this entire episode.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get it.
Have not mentioned it once.
We haven't mentioned it once.
No, because it's not a comedy and Jack Lemmon's not involved, so it wasn't relevant. But it's like a classic.
Have we done it on the
It's-
podcast?
No, we haven't.
Oh, no.
Not at all. It's about it has a great male star that we've covered on this podcast, and then an older female star who's
No.
kind of cast for her age in it. And it's about Hollywood and film business, and the name. It's got like the most famous title of any movie.
Oh, Casablanca?
Nope.
Oh wait, that was
no,
a crazy thing
that's
to say.
Michael-
He didn't.
Michael
He didn't do
Curtis did
Casablanca.
yeah.
Never mind. That
No,
was
no.
a dumb thing
No,
to
it's
say.
not a dumb thing to say, but the name of the film is a place. So you're-
Casablanca?
Casablanca, Mulholland Drive,
Casablanca.
Sunset
Drive.
Boulevard.
Sunset
Sunset
Boulevard.
Boulevard.
Sorry, I should have given you some
Oh, I knew that
some-
too. It's
some
Sunset Boulevard.
things about the musical. All right, and then his 4th favorite film. Oh, this is a hard one to get for this one. This is like one of my favorites. I love this film. The star of one of the films we just mentioned is in it. No one's gonna get this.
One of your favorite
This
films.
is a Peter Sellers movie, and it's my favorite Peter Sellers performance. And Shirley MacLaine is in it. And is
Oh.
anyone gonna get it? And it's directed by the director of Harold and Maude, and the film is Being There.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know it.
Yeah, that's Steve Carell's Letterboxd top 4.
Has Steve Carell ever dressed up as a woman in a film? Or TV?
No, I don't think so.
I have such an image of him in a ginger wig in my
Maybe he
head.
has. I think Steve Carell wishes he was the Jack Lemmon of today.
Oh, yeah.
Well, there's one person who
there's
does.
one person who
wish
does.
They were the Jack Lemmon
Would,
of
would,
today.
would they have done this with Spacey in like 2004?
No.
Spacey and Baldwin. Spacey and
Oh, Jesus, yeah.
Spacey and Kevin Kline.
Spacey
Spacey
doesn't
Baldwin.
have the humor to pull it off.
I think Kevin Kline and Bryan Cranston are more of the Jack Lemmon of today than
Yeah.
I think either of them could probably pull it off.
I
They'd be
think-
a good pair in this.
Mike Feist probably has a bit of that in him
Sure.
to come out
To
yet.
come out yet, yeah.
Um,
I think in terms of non-threatening middle-aged men, like Klein and Cranston are like the top 2 for me of like, and I guess Tom Hanks was at one point, but he's just aged out of that now.
Cranston's probably the most similar, even
Yeah.
the way that he's able to carry
Yeah.
himself head to toe acting.
Did you
is
see
really
the Phoenician Scheme?
No, not yet.
Okay, so Cranston and Tom Hanks are like a comedy duo in that who
Yeah.
play basketball.
Great.
And they're so funny in it. And it's like, this is genius. Put them in 100 movies together. It's a really good, like, why do we never put these guys as a pair before?
My favorite go-to funny reference for Cranston is him speedwalking in Malcolm in the Middle.
Speed walking in Malcolm in the Middle. I guess I've seen the GIFs. I haven't watched all of Malcolm
It's
in the
such
Middle.
a good episode, and he is so funny without saying
He's
almost
very
anything.
good. Well, speaking of Arthur Miller, I'm going to try and get over to London to see him in All My Sons with Marianne Jean-Baptiste in the autumn, because I think
Yes.
Cranston on stage would be class.
And Arthur Miller announced today for the Gaiety Theatre in
Oh, yeah?
February they're going to do the Crucible.
Oh, right. And
You can cut that out.
Tony Kushner is writing a new adaptation of Death of a Salesman for film with Jeffrey Wright and Octavia Spencer, which is fun.
I sent in early to be like, put me in, coach. This is my jam.
Yeah. I wonder, should they have gender swap both the roles? But whatever.
Which could be fantastic, to
Yeah.
be quite honest, because Death of a Salesman is kind of a big masculine
Yeah.
man.
Gender swap Glengarry Glen Ross. We need to write this.
Yeah.
So good.
Another Jack Lemmon.
Yeah. You could have, like, as the Jack Lemmon role, you could have Meryl. You could have,
Sure.
like, Melissa McCarthy as Baldwin. You could have...
What?
Yeah, of course. Melissa McCarthy doing the Always Be Closing and screaming.
We watched her shouting aggressively.
We watched
in
This Is 40.
This is 40 the other night.
She's
This is
so good
40.
in This
On
Is 40.
fire
She's
there.
unbelievable. Like the scene where she goes into the principal's office with the two of them, and they just they're fighting with each other, but they've made a pact to just lie,
Yeah.
and they're like, this woman's crazy. She doesn't know what she's talking about, and they just get her worked up. That's brilliant.
Love This Is 40.
Anyway, do you have anything else to say from your notes that we haven't covered?
Oh man. Oh, there's one really fun bit that I feel like I was shitting on Tony Curtis so much, but he
Sure.
gave me the funniest line that the costume designer of Casablanca,
Okay.
can you name him?
Nope. I don't know costume designers. The only old timey costume designer I know is Edith Head.
So Orly Kelly, who's
Okay.
super. Oh my god, the way that I'm immediately like I've gotten his surname wrong.
Well, what was it?
I think it's Orly Kelly.
Is he Irish?
He's not Irish,
He sounds Irish.
but he made the dresses for Some Like
way.
It Hot. He was,
Wow.
you know, Miss Monroe's seamstress or whatever.
Sorry, the wigs are very good.
Yeah.
The wigs are very
The
good.
wigs are very
And the makeup is good. They look great.
They do.
Yeah, Orly Kelly. I'm completely right.
Very good.
He is making Monroe's dresses,
Okay.
and he was then hired to also do the boys' dresses
Okay.
because they were jealous that theirs looked more like costumes rather than real dresses,
Sure.
and they wanted to feel pretty.
Of course they did.
So
as
he
they
was
should.
doing them, and after he'd already made a few for Tony Curtis and Jack Lemmon,
Yeah.
he told Marilyn Monroe
Mm-hmm.
that Tony Curtis had a better ass than her. So she took off her top in front of him and went, "Yeah, but he doesn't have tits like these."
Oh, Jesus Christ. Well done.
My favorite thing to have learned, well, just kind of revamping down this journey.
Tony
of something like
Curtis, Jello on Springs.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Tony Curtis found dead.
this. I'm wondering if Train Spotting, the like Nacon's got tits like mine, is
Yes.
based off of Marilyn
Yes.
Monroe. He doesn't have tits
Sorry,
like these.
the fucking Jello on Springs is directly referenced in Blonde. She's
It
like,
is.
I won't say this line.
I get
It's so
that you're
offensive."
calling me dumb.
Oh,
Oh,
Well, she might have been difficult to work with. She was going through chronic pain, a miscarriage over the course of this
yeah.
film.
You know what? Those are good reasons to be difficult to work with.
100%.
And she
Billy
still
Wilder, Tony
pulls it
Curtis
off.
were just assholes.
You don't watch this movie and go,
Yeah.
Marilyn Monroe isn't checked in 100%.
Not at all.
She is
It's
so,
committed.
present.
Yeah. It's great.
She's so good, and her eyes are just the most phenomenal,
Yeah.
reactive. Her crying in the scene on the phone to Tony Curtis
No, she's brilliant.
makes you melt, and I actually think she's just phenomenal in
She's
it.
great. Wonderful. All right. Some Like It Hot, everybody. Watch it if you haven't. Do you have anything to promote?
Oh, I wish.
Do you have anything to plug?
I've got absolutely nothing going on in
Do
my
people to
life.
follow you on Letterboxd or something?
Oh, don't. I'm not good on that either.
Grand. Nothing to promote.
Nothing to. I
Just
mean,
the movies.
go see A Christmas Carol in the Gate Theatre
There
this
you go.
There
this
we go.
Christmas.
Who
there you
is
go.
playing Scrooge?
It's not revealed
Oh,
yet.
shit,
I can't
okay.
tell you
Tell us
this.
off mic.
I'll
Tell
tell
us
you
off
when the
mic.
mic's off.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
And thank you, Shane. And everybody, you can check out boypartypod.com. You can buy tickets to Boy Party Live on the 22nd of November at the Dot Theatre in Dublin.
Yeah.
You can check out my other podcast, City Sickos, where we talk about movies set in Dublin, movies set in San Francisco. The next episode will be out next week, and it's going to cover Sister Act and Deadly Cuts. So find links to that on Instagram.com/boypartypod. See you next week.
Get
Get
home
home
safe.
safe. Bye-bye.